Hi, this is Ron from Delusions of Granular, and you're listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. Now here's your host, Tim McMahon.
Hey, it's Tim. Now, I can't believe that it has already been 3 years since the old expanded universe was rebranded as Legends, and yet I'm still reading online discussions and debates about this act, and if it was a smart thing for Lucasfilm to do. Hey, say what you will about Star Wars fans, but we are a passionate bunch. One argument I recently read, and I'm not going to go into the details right now, but it was about the use, the overuse, and the need for retcons. Are retcons an important storytelling tool, or are they just a crutch for writers to fall back on when continuity gets too clumsy and unwieldy? I'll let you discuss that amongst yourselves. That's not the point of today's show. Anyway, after reading this discussion, I googled the definition of retcon, as I'm apt to do, and here's what I came up with. Noun. A piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events, typically to facilitate a dramatic plot shift or account for an inconsistency. Or verb, to revise retrospectively, typically by introducing a new piece of information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events. Okay, why am I talking about retcons? Something I'm sure all good geeks are already familiar with? Well, something hit me today, something I've never really noticed before or put my finger on before. I realized that the very first Star Wars retcon was actually right there on the big screen in 1980 in The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, think about it. What am I talking about? Well, here, listen to this.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
No. That's not true.
Okay, I'm going to argue that this revelation is not a twist, but rather a retcon. To do that, we have to take a step back to Episode 4, A New Hope. As you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi tells Luke Skywalker that his father, Anakin Skywalker, was killed by his apprentice, Darth Vader. Well, that was the story. That was the story that Lucas was planning on telling. If you read the great J.W. Rinzler books about the making of the original trilogy, you'll know that the idea of Darth Vader becoming Luke's dad wasn't conceived until they were writing Empire Strikes Back. So, technically I would argue, this is a retcon, not a twist. After 40 years of Star Wars, it's just amazing to me how I can still find new things in this old classic. Anyway, I see it as a retcon, and that's why I'm telling you this today. But I want to know, am I onto something? Or is this just a little too out there, a little too crazy? Do you think I'm right? Or am I looking at this from a certain point of view, and thus my opinion is just a little bit skewed? Let me know what you think. I want to know. Email me at 12parsekspodcast@gmail.com or connect with me on any of my social media accounts. All the links can be found on my website, 12parsekspodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Utini!
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
You've been listening to Less Than 12 Parsecs, the fastest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy, part of the expanded Fandomverse network of shows. For links and show notes, visit our website, 12parsekpodcast.com. Follow Less Than 12 Parsecs on Twitter at 12parpod, on Instagram at 12parsekspodcast, on Tumblr at 12parsekspodcast, and find us on Facebook as well. And please let us know what you think. Email us at 12parsekspodcast@gmail.com. Utini!
Hi, this is Ron from Delusions.